aware that there is this process that is going on. Because not all people are aware of this thing happening. And secondly, I don't know whether I must raise this or change this, but this is the wrong time. I had Derek mentioning the fact that people must visit the IEC offices, and to my recollection and now, the Mitchell's Plain area has been without an office for quite a long time now. I don't know whether I'm wrong or right. So I don't know whether that has been addressed, because that is also another effect that is going to hamper this area, seeing that the Mitchell's Plain area is covering a lot of, serving a lot of people in that area. Thank you.
I just wanted to just note that we are addressing office space at the moment, so that is being addressed. It's just a bit challenging at the moment with all the movement in the city, with all the directors and MECO members and everybody else looking for, and this is just in passing, saying, Tanya, looking for space, for office space in the areas, because they are supposed to be working in the areas. So.
I think it's only sites that are available in this location.
Okay, so there's no other contributions to address harvesting. We'll move on to outreach activities.
Alvina, thank you. Morning, everyone. On the package, the last 3 pages is attachments for outreach. Starting with the occurred events from May, and the planned events for June. Because we didn't have PLC in April, I just want to discuss with you, for the months of April and May, for those 2 months, we reached 10,499 students for the School Democracy Week that we had planned. And out of that 10,000, we only received 120 new registrations. The difficulty we have is we do set up appointments with the schools. The schools promise us that they will inform the students will be there and they'll bring their IDs. On the day when we're there, they don't have their IDs and we can't register them. Yes. So what we have done is we've set up follow-up appointments to go back to the schools after the June exams, and we will try and reach those kids again. The planned events for June is also attached. That's all.
Anybody have any questions on the outreach events? Or anybody want to make suggestions or proposals or upcoming events?
I think we'll just be a follow-on, thank you, Chair, from the last meeting. Is that I would like to know the amount of schools within the metro, high schools, primary schools. I had a list, and I know it's a long list. But seeing also now we have a by-election coming up in August, is we look at that particular area, how many high schools is in that area, and how many of those high schools is targeted, and what efforts are being made now to reach those high schools before the by-election. So I think that should be the concentration. That's where we can get through. In the sense of reaching and getting the registration, I think maybe we can also play a role in going and getting groups together. I know you get more than 20 people, you come out and register those people, but it's also a heavy task. But I think we can just follow the by-election trail. We should get and meet our target that way.
We have made that request a number of times, and I mean the invitation is always open. Okay. Anybody else? Good. And then we'll go on to our topic for today, by-election number 4. Eric, if you look at the last page, the draft table for the by-election, is you able to speak to it?
Well, if you look at the draft timetable, then you will see it starts on the 30th of June. We are now at the end of May. So let me give you some dates prior to the 30th of June. when we hit the 30th of June, then we close down all registration activities. We then work towards the certification of the voters' roll, and then we do what we're supposed to do normally if you hold a by-election or an election. So prior to the timetable, we have a targeted communication and registration activity that will take place on Sunday the 4th, Monday the 5th, and Tuesday the 6th of June. That's the first targeted communication and registration, and that is people that will be targeted within the actual ward itself, Ward 4. Ward 4 run from Summer Greens all the way over to Milnerton, that is that area there. And then we will have a registration weekend on the 10th and the 11th of June. That's the registration weekend. Immediately after the registration weekend, we will give all parties, you received an email to bring your flash drives along.
Yes.
We had a discussion again this morning about it. Alvina is just one of those very enthusiastic women, absolutely stunning woman. But when we spoke about it this morning, we did realize that what you're going to get now is what you already have. The 2016 voters' roll is that voters' roll. So nothing has been changed, nothing has added, nothing has taken away. So I want to ask you if you're comfortable with that. If you want that, you can get it. I mean, it's just a matter of, but you don't need it because it is something that we're going to be working on TCR1, registration weekend. When the registration weekend is done, then we're going to give you a temporary voters' roll. That one would have taken into consideration all those people that were now registered as well. You can, if you look at your 2016 voters roll and you look at that one, that gives you an opportunity to do comparisons. Then what we do at National Office, they then draw another set of information. And this information then looks at people that have moved out, so they're living outside of the ward. And then we do a TCR second time around, the targeted communication and registration. And in that exercise, we then expect parties to actually speak to us on the voters' roll. You have an opportunity to look at the voters' roll. Now, during that registration weekend, after the registration weekend, we will give you the list of information. In Beaufort West, we had 152 people that we identified after that registration weekend. We take a notice to those people and we say to them, here is a notice, section 12(1)(d). This is the notice. This notice says that you don't live in this ward any longer. The CEO requests you to go to the office so that you can make changes. And if you don't make changes and we give them a certain time, we will remove you from the voters' roll. That list that we get from National Office, we will then go and we will meet all those people or drop those notices and have comments why they didn't respond and so on. That list you will receive as well. So we'll do a comparison with that. And then after the certification and the of the by-election itself, the formal proclamation of the by-election, we will have a certified voters' roll. So to all the political parties, the process that we're following now is a process of adding for those people. So if there's children, 18-year-olds and over, that can be registered, we will add everybody else on. So we have that registration weekend. We will inform people inside, this is the information that we need. We will then do an exercise outside and remove you from the voters' roll, and then we will have a certified voters' roll. So colleagues, the biggest thing around the by-election now is getting our voters' roll as close as possible. We're now not working 70%.